What is contemporary Singapore fashion? Well, an exhibition opening this Friday at the Asian Civilisations Museum looks to explore that very issue. SGFASHIONNOW is going to bring together industry leaders, educators and students. And for more, we're joined by Dominic Low. He's curator at the Asian Civilisations Museum, as well as fashion designer Jon Max Goh. They're both with us this evening. Dominic, let's start with you. The theme for this year's exhibition is architecture of drapes. If you can briefly explain to us what that means, I think it will enlighten our viewers as to something about what this exhibition is all about.
Yeah, thank you so much. So architecture of drape is a theme that was given to the final year fashion media industry students from the School of Fashion at LASALLE College of the Arts as part of their graduation project module. They were invited to interpret the theme and to take into consideration the idea of Asian fashion as championed by ACM, as well as the three fashion designers selected by ACM, Thomas Wee, Ashley Isham, and Max Tan, as points of reference for the students to respond to as when they're preparing for their exhibition proposal. So the winning proposal was selected by a panel of judges, and it belonged to Ethan Lai, who chose to approach the theme of architecture of drape more conceptually by drawing parallels between both architecture and clothing as spaces within which bodies inhabit and move. The experimental showcase thus explores how each designer navigates the fashion space using their own language of draping. So the result is really a snapshot of how diverse Singapore fashion is, ranging from pioneers like Thomas Wee, with more than 40 years under the belt, to recent graduates like Latika Balachandra, who won the Men's Folio Designer of the Year award in 2020. From designers based in Singapore like Max Tan, Lina Osman, and Jon Max Goh himself, to those based overseas, like Ashley Isham in London and Harry Halim in Paris. It's also the first time, as you can see, that we are spotlighting accessories, such as a stunning batik corset made by Putri Adif.
Well, these designers certainly have put us on the global stage as far as fashion is concerned. Dominic, Jon, let's bring you into the conversation now. How did you explore the concept of Singapore fashion in your design?
Hi, thanks so much for that question. I think for me, memory always plays a very big part in what inspires me and what starts off my journey with my design work. And, that ranges from anywhere from very personal memory. So what it looks like growing up back home, what it looks like growing up in Singapore. And sometimes it becomes much bigger, collective memory, stories that have been passed down from generation within the family, or even going into the museum to look at historical artifacts, historical images and photographs, and to really question and ask, who are the people who made Singapore what it is today? Who are the people who stepped foot on Singapore's soil, and what did their lives look like before they even got here? And so these are all different facets of memory that really inspires me and informs my design.
Well, certainly art, fashion is a form of art that you can actually wear. And for many people, that has a great deal of meaning, the choices of what they put on and how they express their identity. And some of those are the youths of Singapore. LASALLE College, the students from there, they're so creative. And part of the showcase was, in fact, done in collaboration with these students. So what was the process of working with those students like?
So it's really enjoyable, actually.
Oh, that's for Dominic.
SGFASHIONNOW, it's after all, so it's after all part of ACM's efforts to engage with the fashion community, so as to continue the discussion of what is Singapore fashion through the lens of Singapore's port city heritage. So it's really fantastic to collaborate with Ethan, as well as his classmates, Vrinda Maheshwari and Leonard Wong, who supported him in the curatorial aspect of the project. He had all these fresh perspectives and was so passionate about it, which I really appreciated. And because each year's SGFASHIONNOW showcase is but a snapshot, part of an evolving conversation, or as the exhibition design evolves, really a set of construction. So it's great to have this Gen Z perspective to kind of build and develop this exhibition together.
Jon, very quickly, has this showcase of local designs pushed you to perhaps explore new trends in fashion design for the future?
Hi, Dawn. Yeah, I think, it's really great to see this body of work come together, both in the experience of the Singapore Stories competition, as well as the showcase by Asian Civilisations Museum. And I think for me, I've always believed that clothing really plays such an integral role in shaping how we view our identities, how we construct this idea of a self, and especially when we think about a cultural identity, right? And so that's why, for me as a designer, the idea of a Singapore identity is always so interesting to interrogate because so often we are trying to, as designers, create a visual language that is both new but can still resonate with viewers, that you're still able to recognize something. And so, I'm always asking myself, right, how do I create something that is contemporary and yet inspired by the past? And I think that is what really makes this idea of a Singapore identity so invaluable to me as a designer, because it gives me so much room to question and to ask, to construct and deconstruct both my own experience of what Singapore looks like for me, but I think also what the idea of Singapore could look like. And I think that's my hope, right? To be able to use fashion as a medium, much like a painter would use a canvas, to really talk about these ideas of identity, both from a perspective that borrows from history, from historical narrative, and is able to inspire us and spark new conversations around how we view who we are as a society.
Such an inspiring creative process. Dominic, thank you very much, curator at the Asian Civilisations Museum. And also, we've been speaking to fashion designer Jon Max Goh. Good luck on this exhibition.